If they do have Dismember plus Thought Knot Seer, then I guess we're in a little bit of trouble. They do have the Dismember, it looks like. There it is. We did play around that one. All right, no Thought Knot Seer, please. There's the tower. Well, opponent just has it, and there's the Thought Knot Seer. Okay. Sure. Hello and welcome, everybody. We are here to play round 2 with the list you see on screen. We're jamming some Adventurous Impulse. If this is not a card that you are familiar with, then go check out match 1, where I describe what the card does and some of the concessions made in the deck list, and also where this deck list came from. I will not be going over that here. Yeah, let's just jump straight into the match. All right, we've got our match. And we're on the play. That's great. Playing as TheTunnelingCat. It's a fairly well-known Magic player on the MTGO platform. Don't know what they're known for running, to be honest. I just recognize the name. We have mini lands. Any single land will let us cast Titan. We have a turn 1 Amulet, and we have Impulse to hopefully find us a Dryad or something. We can Impulse into a Grazer on turn 2 and still be able to cast the Grazer and get some ramp and a block or two, so I think this is a keep. It's a little loose, but I mean, we put Impulse on our deck to play it, so let's do that. And start by gaining our Radiant Fountain value. Our opponent's on Tron. Interesting. Alright, let's get this Garen Brig into play, as having a Garen Brig in play for Azusa purposes is useful. We'll play out this Impulse, see what we can find. Grazer, Sanctuary, Stronghold. I guess we want Grazer, as that'll let us get to Titan a turn earlier if we find a bounce land, I guess. Or at least we can just put a land into play anyways. Yeah, not the fastest hand against Tron. Another Impulse, huh? Alright, well, let's, I guess we lead on the Impulse. I don't think it really makes a difference since we have to tap the Garen Brig to Impulse anyways. I'm just going to lead on the Impulse. There's a Titan. A good one. And you order those guys. Here comes a Colony Garden with token value, of course. And here comes a Grazer into play. We'll put in a red source for ease of hasting, and then we do have Titan this upcoming turn. Alright, yeah, we're done for now. See if our opponent has the turn 3 Tron on us. Radiant Fountain. Interesting. It makes me more inclined to think our opponent's on mono blue Tron. I suppose Eldrazi Tron could play Radiant Fountain. I've never seen it, but Ballista on 1, not really good enough for what we're about to do. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do what we're about to do. Make a Titan, do the haste. I guess our opponent could have Dismember, which we'd be playing into right now. We could play around Dismember by getting Tolari West and a bounce land. Yeah, I think getting Tolari West and a bounce land is probably the best play here. Don't want to lose to Dismember out of nowhere. I guess if we don't haste an attack here and call our opponent's bluff, they might be able to just Tron us a turn after if they just spike the tower off the top. I'm going to play around the Dismember instead. I feel like our opponent played this Ballista for a reason. So let's just play around it. We can actually even transmute now. And I think we do have to since we don't have another bounce land. We're exposing ourselves to getting Thought Knot Seared. But otherwise, we may not be able to transmute this Tolari West at all, and they still have to deal with our Titan that's in play, so. If they do have Dismember plus Thought Knot Seer, then I guess we're in a little bit of trouble. They do have the Dismember, it looks like. There it is. We did play around that one. All right, no Thought Knot Seer, please. There's the tower. Well, opponent just has it, and there's the Thought Knot Seer. Okay. Sure. We can still top deck a Titan and be pretty alright. Even a Valakut Dryad scenario could be good for us. Killing the Thought Knot Seer and the Karn, probably. So Dryad off the top is good. Titan off the top is good. Tolari West is not that great. Another Amulet does absolutely nothing. I don't think we even play it, because we can play around Oblivion Stone by not playing the Amulet. And I also think we keep lands in hand here. Yeah, I mean, our opponent had everything they needed, and we haven't yet found a Titan, so Or a Dryad. Chalice on 0, okay. So it is Eldrazi Tron with a Radiant Fountain. Interesting. Liquid Metal Coating, sure. Reality Smasher. And this is just like the perfect draw. Not that I'm really complaining. I don't intend to. Right, Titan. Primeval, Titan, Explorer. Yeah, we'll lead on that one. Vesuva. I mean, I guess we're making a Valakut here before our opponent can blow it up with Karn. And I still think we hold the amulet. Could be wrong. If we Titan, we could search for Telaria West on a bounce lane, float 6, play Dryad. I don't think that. Let's see. They kill our growth chamber. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'd have to play a land to play the amulet in that case. Oh, I hit 6 intending to cancel the 6 that was already done, but because it had a thing up, we probably should have played the amulet there. Oh well. One less Valakut trigger. That's fine. Second Smasher, really? Alright, well, we're still not technically dead. Titan off the top is the best possible. It has to be exactly Titan, also. Matter Reshaper, okay. Explorer. That one's not fantastic. I guess we can play the amulet. Fetch for a Breeding Pool, float 2. And leave a green floating, use a Valakut, cast Explorer, and then Cavernous Souls as the land for turn off the Explorer lets us cast Titan if we find it. I mean, I think that's our only choice here. I guess we can lead on the Explorer. Probably should have fetched just in case. The Thin. Yeah, we just got nothing. It happens. Alright, in this matchup, we want our forces for sure. I like trackers as they threaten to trade with or even just eat up a Thought-Knot Seer. Reclamation Sage for our opponent's Karn targets, and Beast Withins for the Karns themselves, or whatever the Karns are grabbing. Kozilek is actually kind of interesting. I feel like we could realistically get a point where we're casting Kozilek, or get to a point where we're casting Kozilek, but not sure. Dismember is good against Thought-Knot Seer and Smasher to some extent, but it's not that great. I like a couple of Dismembers to kill Thought-Knot, but I'm not big on Dismember in this matchup in general. This is definitely not a matchup for Arboreal Grazer. Explorer is fine. Summoner's Pact is weak to Chalice, as we just saw. We could have an Engineered Explosives, just 1 to transmute for, so we can play it on 0 using a colorless land like Ghost Quarter or Radiant Fountain, and kill Chalice on 0, or we could just try to rely on our, like, Beast Within's, Forces, Reclamation Sage type effects to kill it. I think maybe having 1 Explosives is worth it. From a second Pact, I think. Impulse seems actually pretty good here. Cavern lets us cast something through Chalice, but that's not usually that relevant. Bog is actively bad against our opponents since it gives them Karn targets. I don't think we care too much about Fountain either. I suppose there's some situations where we want Fountain to play around Smasher attacking us for lethal, but I think I'm comfortable cutting it. Gotta cut 2 more cards. I'm not sure what they should be. Maybe it's just the Dismembers. Maybe we want to be more proactive than that, because Dismember's not good against their more prison-y, like, Chalice plus Karn draws, so I'll go without the Dismembers. Alright, on the play, of course. We have a Force. We have a very slow hand yet again. We can play Tracker on turn 3, but if our opponent just has turn 3 Karn, this looks pretty ridiculous. If they do have, like, a turn 1 map, we're probably forced to force a Vigor, pitching the Titan to get rid of it. But we do have Garenbrig to activate into Titan if we get there. It's really debatable. I think maybe we mulligan to try to find an amulet hand. I'm gonna mulligan. This hand is definitely better. We can keep this for sure. The bottom is the hard part. We can play Impulse on 1 here to help us find another land to activate Garenbrig. I like having the Sage, but maybe we don't need it since we have natural Primeval Titan to play around Chalice of the Void, so yeah, let's lead on this Impulse. Take a Crumbling Vestige, sure. Want the Stronghold in deck for sure. There's the Chalice on 0, and we have a Force to deal with it anyways. If we play a Growth Chamber, it exposes us to Ghost Quarter and also plays poorly if we top deck an Amulet. So as dumb as it seems, I think I'm just playing out the Vestige here, wasting the mana. It's whatever. We'll play our Azusa this upcoming turn and be fine. Blast Zone. So not a Tron land is actually good for us. Blast Zone can be a little annoying, but Dryad instead of Azusa? I think so. Here's the Dryad. Now we actually can pitch Azusa to cast Force if we need to. We're definitely playing out this Growth Chamber now. Titan next turn, with Dryad in play, unless our opponent has Dismember. But that's fine. Titan into play regardless is great for us. Spyglass. That's totally fine. I guess they named Tolaria West here, or Hasteland probably. Tolaria West is kind of semi-locked out by Chalice, since we can't get Summoners Pact. So I guess Hasteland is the best thing, but I don't know. Spyglass not really doing a whole lot here, in all honesty. We just need to think how we properly play around our opponent having Dismember and Ghost Quarter. So they can't stop us from casting Titan if we don't top deck an untapped source or a bounce land here. Dryad. Let's see if our opponent draw steps and Ghost Quarters us. They do. We can hard cast Force here, which I don't hate. They did name Tolaria West on the Spyglass. I think hard casting Force will play around our opponent having Thought-Knots here, which is something we need to be worried about. They might have just cast Thought-Knot last turn if they had it, but they can still top deck it. And getting the Chalice out of play means that we can start trading Titans. So I think it's probably worth it. Let's kill the... I mean, we could kill the Mind Stone, actually. We definitely want to hit the Chalice. I feel like hitting the Spyglass is going to be better than hitting the Mind Stone. We'll play land, swing for 2, pass it back. Opponent almost F6 through their turn. There's a Chalice on 0, okay. I mean, we can still deal with this. No Thought-Knot, no Thought-Knot, no Thought-Knot. No, don't do it, Karn. Alright, we need a land that lets us cast Titan off the top. Please. Bounce land does it. Any on-tap land does it. Come on, deck. Show us what we got. Colony Garden. Not really the best one, but we'll play it. It lets us cast Titan next turn. And let's play out a second Dryad over the Azusa, just because Dryad's ability to activate a Valakut is far more relevant, in my opinion. Definitely stopping our opponent from minusing Karn for another thing here. Comes map. I got bridge off of the Karn minus, in case anyone missed it. Here comes the bridge. All right, we can potentially kill our opponent with Valakut if we draw a land. All right, land off the top is still good. Still what we want. Explore. That is not a land. I mean, we would be remiss not to just jam Titan here, right? Probably getting bounce land instead of second Valakut. I think that's fine. Let's see, if we get double Valakut, we can swing with both Dryads, so our opponent's effectively at 14, but we can only do 12 damage off of the Valakut triggers. So, if we had a bounce land in play already, then we can get Valakut and Vesuva, and probably kill our opponent, but we don't, so let's just go with Valakut bounce land. Send 1 at the Karn, and save targets upstairs. Always yes. Always yield. We'll pick up the bounce land. We'll do this a couple more times. Quite a couple more times. Alright, opponent is dead next turn if they have nothing. They need to deal with both Dryads or just the Valakut. And even so, we haven't explored a cycle if we don't find something relevant off the top, so Looking alright here. There's definitely things our opponent could have. Alright, so we got game 2. That's pretty good. Do we want to change anything? Still not sold on Dismember here. Our opponent didn't even play a single creature the game we just played. Kozilek not looking super relevant. I think we just run it back. On the draw now. We have Beast Within to interact. We have a bounce land and a turn 3 play. We're on the draw. It's a little slow. We can also hit a Tron land with Beast Within, actually, if that's our plan. And Ghost Quarter as well to slow our opponent's Tron. It's kind of rough, but I think we do keep it. The thing that makes it rough is how slow it is. Not playing anything until turn 3 is usually not a winning recipe, but our opponent's on the mold 5. Potentially trying to look for Tron here. Mold 4, I don't know. It's pretty unfortunate for our opponent. Hopefully they don't just natural Tron us. Actually, hopefully they do, because we have Ghost Quarter. Yeah, we can just play out the forest here. Ghost Quarter next turn if they show us a second Tron land, I think. Second Tron land, okay. So let's set a draw step stop here. Play out our Ghost Quarter. And pass it back. And let's kill the second one they played, which was the Power Plant. I've heard that Tron players are more likely to play their redundant pieces on turn 1, because it exposes them early to hate, and your opponent might go after them. And they did have the tower, so that was a very much needed Ghost Quarter. Can't play around any kind of land destruction effect here, since we need to cast a 3-drop this upcoming turn, so let's just play our bounce land, discard this Summoner's Pact that our opponent is likely to turn off with Chalice anyways. Haha, wrong Tron piece. Sorry, opponent. Karn is pretty annoying, though. It's very good against our tracker plan. We can still just put our Dryad into play. Amulet. Doesn't do a whole lot. We can play Dryad into Amulet, and I think we probably should. That means that a bounce land off the top lets us just tighten our opponent. Even through the liquid metal coating that they searched for. Which they have cast and activated. Plus Karn, alright. A land down. Bounce land off the top. Let us go bounce land. Bounce land. Come on! They named Tolari West with the Needle. I actually think it would have been correct to name the Slayer Stronghold there in case we do have the Titan, which, of course, we expertly top deck, so... Whew! It was a little bit of a sweater, but we managed to work this one out. Our opponent does have Ghost Quarter, that's fine. We can just Beast Within their Karn. Didn't notice our opponent had Ghost Quarter, but that's okay. We can get their Karn out of play. Is it better to hit the coating? I guess then they just minus... No, it's probably better to hit the Karn, because even if we clock Karn for 2, they can minus and let the Karn go and get Bridge. So probably want to hit the Karn. It's a little sad if they have a second, Karn the Great Creator, just lying in the weights here, but we can't really play around that. Map. Our opponent has Tron yet again. Power Plant. Into play. And they pass back. Alright. I think we just slam Tracker here, and again, hope they don't Karn us. I guess, nah, Explored wouldn't make sense there, because finding a bounce land, actually, we would have 3 plays. I guess it actually was correct to explore there to see if we hit a bounce land off the top. Torpor Orb. Alright. We get to make a little clue here. Named Giant. Probably not trading with the Beast. Let's go ahead and explore. See what we find. Bounce land is fantastic, so we can play this only once. I mean, we're going to go ahead and play it, because we want to get this Tireless Tracker trigger anyways. And we'll keep the bounce land in hand, of course. This means that we do have Titan this upcoming turn. Now we can attack through our opponent's Beast here, since the 2 mana from the Growth Chamber lets us do this. So let's go ahead and swing at the Ugin. They can block if they so desire it. We will crack this clue. Alright, pass it back. have Titan ready to go. This tracker did a lot of work already. Spyglass, you got it. I don't think they can name Clue. Spyglass doing nothing several games in a row. I've heard some very good E-Tron players say that it's reasonable to bring in Sorcerer's Spyglass, but I don't really like it personally. I think it does too little. They get to make a blocker here, but we get to put a Titan in play. We can even play the Valakut before we do so as well, and get one Valakut trigger. So I think our opponent's just dead here. We're very lucky they top decked Sorcerer's Spyglass instead of something else. Whew. Very, very well fought game from our opponent here on game 3. This was a mull to 4, by the way. Our opponent seemed to have chosen the right mulliganing strategy, knowing that at this point their only hope was to try to hit Tron, and they were able to do so through mulligans, and also playing very tight, you know, ghost quartering our bounce land at the right time and stuff. Having boarded in Torpor Orb allowed them to draw this one. I guess we're not searching with a Titan trigger, which is kind of annoying. There's so much wrong with what I said before about being able to kill our opponent with Valakut triggers and stuff. That's okay, though. I don't think there's a way to play Sage and Titan this turn. This is awkward. I guess we're just putting Titan into play. Our opponent still has one more top deck. That's okay, though. I guess it's better to play the Garen Brig to cast this Titan. Yep. Let's play this one. It's actually debatable whether we even attack with the tracker or not, because if our opponent's spirit dies, they get whatever this card is in their hand, and if it's a threat, then we've given our opponent the card they need to be able to get out of this situation. Our attack trigger this upcoming turn is going to be able to get Talari West and Valakut. Then we play one land for turn as the Growth Chamber. Pick up the Talari West and transmute it. They named Sunhome for the Spyglass, not Talari West. So we can transmute, get Dryad, play land, and kill the Ugin there without having to give them the Spirit card. So I'm actually not going to attack them with the tracker this turn. I don't want them to have the card. Oh, they top deck something? Ballista for 6. Okay. Another amulet, huh? So we can actually play second amulet into Sage into Titan and get a trigger off of our Titan entering. So you tap this, that's 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 for Titan. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can actually do that. We can't... We don't need to use Sunhome anyways. It would have been better to name Stronghold. Although they do have the Pithing Needle on T-West. So we can haste here. I think that's probably the right play. Alright, let's 5 to get rid of our yields. Keeping the bounce land in hand here, I think. We'll cast the Sage. We'll cast the Sage. I was like, what's going on? Why is it not being cast? Kill the orb, play the Titan. Oh, Torpor Orb stops that. Okay. It's okay. And I'm not playing the greatest this game either myself. Our opponent gets the minus Ugin now as well, since we didn't give them the Spirit card the other turn. Whatever. We'll play it through. I had to top deck the Ballista. Okay. So we don't have Talari West as an out. I think we are supposed to attack with the Titan. Again, we're giving them the cards from the spirits, but Otherwise, we're going to lose something to the Ugin minus anyways. I think we do attack. It's kind of close, though. I think we attack, though. It enables our tracker to give us more top decks. It lets us set up a second Valakut for Dryad if we top deck it. So definitely Valakut here is a choice. And I guess the other one is just Telarios. I mean, I know we can't activate it, but we could also top deck Force of Vigor. Or like Beast Within to hit the needle. Vesuva's semi-interesting. I think Telarios is better, though. And we get to crack several clues here. Which I think we will do. Rather than let the mana go. Opponent is pinging the tracker with the Ballista. That makes a lot of sense. And now they get to trade with the Titan also. If they, like, sacrifice their whole board for it. What? Why did everything just yield through? Yeah, this is fine. It might be kind of okay that we didn't crack the clues, though, because this actually means that our opponent can't get anything out of our hand with Thought-Knots here, so that might be for the better, in all honesty. Our opponent gets to get our Titan out of play with their Ugin. That's fine. We'll see if our opponent has found anything relevant. There's the Thought-Knots here that we were accidentally playing around. Fantastic. Tower, okay. All right, now let's just go ahead and crack a clue. Ehrenberg, okay. Impulse. I think that's better than cracking here. Tracker or Azusa? Definitely Tracker. Any order of these. Let's play the Tracker. Sure. We'll play Valakut out. So that even if our opponent has a land destruction effect for the one that's in play, we are still able to copy a Valakut and play with a Vesuva. Yield to these. Clue. Keith. Okay. I think we're supposed to clue here again in case we find another Impulse, so we can cast it. Titan. Alright. Not attacking. Tracker looking very good here. Map. Crack it. They get Blast Zone. Makes a lot of sense. They pass it back. I wonder why they didn't attack with Thought Knot. Seems like it would have been a good choice. Sun Home that we can't activate. I guess we clue first to see if we find a Dryad. And we don't want to play a land before we do so. I guess it's free to tap the Cavern here, since it's our least diverse source of mana. We might need the red. I'm going to tap the red. Bounce land, okay. Well, I guess we can go drawing one more time. We'll clue. Impulse. That could still find us a Dryad. Let's cast it. A miss on Impulse. That doesn't happen very often, does it? Alright. I guess we play the fetch land to get maximum amount of clues out of our tracker in case they have something to kill it. And we definitely swing in with the tracker here. Probably not the Rex Age. Our opponent does not block. It's fine. Yeah, let's just pass. They Blast Zone up to 3. Sure. Chalice on 0, that's fine. This is why we boarded out like half of our Summoners packs anyways. Cavernon Atog. Very classy choice. Very classy. Alright. We know that our opponent is not going to Thought-Knot Seer, so let's clue now. Dryad is the card that we were looking for. Alright, we'll untap. Another Dryad is amazing. We can't play Dryad into our opponent's onboard Blast Zone. I mean, we can, actually, and then play one land and force the Blast Zone to get cracked. Actually, yeah, if we play Dryad now, they have to crack Zone, because otherwise we just kill their Thought-Knot Seer, draw a card, and then attack them for lethal with a tracker, probably. So I think if we slam a Dryad here, then... That said, then we play a second Dryad and don't have lethal. It's kind of weird. We play one land drop, Dryad dies, we play a second Dryad, we only have one more land drop after that, plus I guess fetching Windswept Heath, which would be 12, which is one short. So I guess we actually don't want to commit a Dryad, we want to force our opponent to Blast Zone away the tracker before we put a Dryad into play. So I guess we're just playing Titan this turn instead. Okay. I wonder if there's a way we can play around that. We can transmute for explosives. I don't think that does much. Explosives on 2 unlocks our Titan ETB trigger and activating Sunhome. And also kills the coding, which is not irrelevant. Alright, I think we just... If we don't play anything out here, we can't threaten lethal with a tracker attack, but whatever. I'm just going to go to combat and attack with both of these. Sure. The Sage is going to get swept up by the zone anyways, so they're just missing out a block on the tracker, I guess. Like, if they just let this go through, they take the 8 damage. That's good for us anyways, so... Now, we play Dryad, play land, they crack Blast Zone, we play second Dryad, and play a land drop after that, and that's just lethal, and we still have Windswept Heath, so yeah. Here's Dryad. We'll kill him with the Sunhome that's deactivated. How about that? Upstairs. Upstairs. We win the match. That was way closer than it should have been with our opponent on a mold 4. That was crazy. Alright. Let's jump back here. Whew. Can't believe we managed to actually win a match against the TunnelingCat. Playing Eldrazi Tron of all things. Natural Troned us through a Ghost Quarter on a mold 4. You know, just normal stuff. But we're just over here casually, you know, winning through that anyways. You know, just Amulet Titan doing Amulet things. I feel like I didn't play fantastically during that match anyways, but we got our first miss on Adventurous Impulse. It's not something that I anticipated, but it is something to be cognizant of. I know that HummingBard, the originator for the decklist, said that he actually preferred Obstinate Baloth in the sideboard to the Force of Vigors, specifically because of the fact that Obstinate Baloth can be hit by Adventurous Impulse, and Force of Vigor cannot, so you need a high enough creature density to find relevant things off of Impulse other than just lands. And I don't know if this lends any credence to that argument or not. We did miss on Impulse, but that doesn't say a whole lot since we are playing a full 31 lands here that get hit by Impulse as well. And sometimes impulsing into a land is not ideal, but at the very least, usually you won't just straight up find nothing. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed that video and learned something from it. At the very least, you can learn from the mistakes that I pointed out that I was making while I was making them. This is just the top tier content here, you know? But yeah, this is Redface Menace, signing off.